we would need additional arable land on a global basis the size of India, which is not small. Now, obviously, that land is not available. So the only way to feed the population is to increase the intensity, to intensify farming. And there's a lot of scope for that because, I mean, here in the West, in Europe, in the States, and Japan, we are fairly efficient in growing food crops, etc. If you go to India and China, and you go to the countryside, you see that a lot of it is done in very traditional ways, and so there's a lot of room for improvement there. But the only way to do it is by using more agrochemicals, doing more crop protection, so that you can increase yields. So the scope for AgChems in the long run is the forecast is for it to grow, to keep on growing at an average growth rate of, say, 3% per year, 2-3% per year. And if you actually, I was mentioning that the graph that I made, which is it's a bit of a bumpy graph, it varies around. But if you put all the points in the graph and you do a line of best fit from a mathematical point over that period, you end up having an average of about 2-3% per year, and that actually has. If you look at the real one, the real growth, we've had years of plus 14, and we've had years of -7, -8% growth. So yes, the long run is positive. We are at I'm convinced with CAB at the end of the dip, and I think it would have actually picked up if it hadn't been for this horrible summer we've had. I think it would have picked up now. I've spoken to quite a few companies in the business, in custom manufacturing for ag, to a couple of ag companies themselves, and they're all fairly optimistic. And so for it to improve, and as I said, I think it would have happened had it not been for basically the effects of this summer. Of the dry summer in the northern hemisphere, but I'm fully expecting it to pick up. Certainly next year, I would imagine it would on the sort of short to medium term, it'll pick up. If you see it, we've had sort of peak growth in 2014, when the growth rate was high, and after that it started going down basically until. It flattened off a bit in the last, sort of 2016, 2017. The decrease wasn't that bad compared to the couple of years before that. So I fully expect it to pick up really.
Yeah. Okay.
And the other point that I shouldn't actually forget is that in the past a lot of our sourcing has been brought to China and India, and because people thought it was going to be dirt cheap and high quality or whatever, and it turns out to be not dirt cheap and not high quality. So a lot of companies in both agrochemicals and pharmaceuticals, for that matter, are reshoring custom manufacturing to back to Europe, mainly Europe, because a lot of the fine chemical industry in the States has actually disappeared because it's a bit more of a long-term thing than a lot of the stakeholders may want. So there's a lot in Europe in terms of fine chemicals, and I know for a fact that some of the chemicals in China that were made in China are no longer available for China, so they have to be made here. It's the quality issues they had from China, the pricing that wasn't that good, and it's not just the quality level, it's it's not a constant level of quality. You'll get 99% now and 98% the next time, and 99.5